everybody.
Hi, Deya.
I am a fill in the blank, and my name is Deya Diaz. Oh my goodness, it's like, it's so overwhelming to look at this room and be here and be like, these are my people. These are my friends, you know? This is my husband. Like, I mean, I know how I got here, but it's like, I just still can't believe I just can't believe I got here. I feel like I was born just to be with Jesus my whole entire life. I know that today. I didn't know that before, but I know that I was born because I'm all over his book. I'm all over his book. You know, I'm the guy at the pool in Bethesda. I am I'm the woman at the well. I am definitely the woman at the well. AA is the well, by the way. I am Peter. Hey, Daddy. I am Peter. You know, I'm Simon. I'm Elijah. I love Elijah. I love Old Testament too. You know, God always asks like rhetorical questions, which I freaking love because I like doing that too. And it's kind of like the question that he asked Adam, like, where are you? Like he doesn't know where you're at. You know. He asked Elijah like 3 times, what are you doing here? I love that question. I feel like he's been asking me that question my whole entire life. What are you doing here? You know, what are you doing here where I was physically in places that I shouldn't be? What are you doing here with people that I shouldn't have been with? You know, have you been in sobriety? What are you doing here? Inside your mind. Inside your mind. What are you doing here? I'm here. And so the big book says that without help it is too much for us, and I've needed help my whole entire life. And I know that today because I did get offered a drink at 17 years old, and the reason I took that drink was because there was no way on the face of the planet that I was telling that guy no. I mean, I just wasn't saying no. You know, I wasn't saying no because you were not going to say that I was a loser. I was not going to say no because I didn't want you to think that I was uncool. I wasn't going to say no because I knew that that was Sunday night and Monday morning you were going to go into school and you were going to tell everybody what a loser I was and how I said no. And I knew that he was going to do that because I am convinced people are like me, right? People think like me, people talk like me. And since I would do that, I thought that he would do that. So I said yes. And a few months after that, when I went into the local community college, because I couldn't get into Cornell because I graduated the bottom 1% of my class, even though I did want to go to an Ivy League school because that was the plan. I always had plans. There's always the plan. There's always the plan. I can never go through with the plan. A few months later, when somebody offered me weed, even though I was scared, I stepped into the unknown because there was no way I was going to tell them no. I mean, there was just no way. I didn't know what that grass was going to do to me, and to be honest with you, I didn't care because at that moment, impressing somebody, the fear of what are you going to say about me was greater than what was this going to do to my body. And then a year after that, somebody offered me cocaine, and hey, you know, I saw all the commercials. I saw this is your brain on drugs, Nancy Reagan, that was my girl, say no to drugs. You know, everybody in Channel 7, Rick Sanchez was like coming up almost every night saying this, you know, somebody new like overdosed. People are overdosing. Even though I was scared, I stepped into the unknown because the fear of people was greater than the fear of what that was going to do to my body. And I have something that other people don't have. You see, they have what I have. You know, everybody out there has fear. Everybody has selfishness. Everybody is self-centered to extremes. You know, there is jealousy out there. There is envy out there. So people have what I have. You know, a lot. I have what other people don't have. And I have alcoholism. You know, and when I came into Alcoholics Anonymous, God intervened in my life. You know, I'm Paul. I was on my way to Damascus, and God intervened in my life and gave me an alternate ending. Thank you. I came into AA in 2011, drinking around the clock, unable to keep a relationship or a job, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, making myself throw up, buying at least 2 8-balls that day, getting a $3 Skol vodka, 2 packs of Marlboros. That's the only way that I could leave the house, you know. So I would drink from 6 o'clock in the morning, I would make myself throw up at 12, I would keep on drinking, then I would hang out with the happy hour crowd, I would make myself throw up again, and I would do this. And about 2 days after, probably like at 3 o'clock in the morning, I needed like a horse tranquilizer to take me down. And I would pop like around 8 Tylenol PMs, and as I was coming down, I would tell myself that tomorrow was going to be different, and I hated myself. I hated myself so much at 3 o'clock in the morning after taking those Tylenol PMs because I couldn't believe that I did the same thing again. And I hated myself so much that I would hit myself in bed. Like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you went there. I can't believe you did this. I can't believe, you made these people cry again. And I would tell myself, tomorrow I'm going to do better. Tomorrow I'm going to do better. Tomorrow I'm going to fix my resume. Tomorrow I'm going to sign up at school again. Tomorrow I'm going to make my parents cry. Tomorrow I'm going to get my life together. And tomorrow would come and I would always have a vodka bottle under my bed, and on awakening, I would pick it up again. I have a life today that I know that I do not deserve, but that has been given to me as a gift. And I'm so grateful for that. I came into Alcoholics Anonymous and I got sober. I got sober in AA, and I loved AA, and I didn't have a problem with the God thing. I had a problem with the alcohol thing. So I did have a problem with the God thing. For me, my problem with God was not so much that I was unwilling to believe in Him, I thought that it was going to be impossible for me to believe. I didn't see how a person like me was, because I believed people when they spoke from the podium that they believed in God. I'm like, how do you believe in God? How do you do that? That was my fear. My fear was that I didn't think that I was going to be able to believe in God. But I did the things. In the 12 and 12 it says that you could still believe in God, but your faith could be barren because you don't have the secret ingredient, which is to do and seek His will. And even though I did not have the strong faith and the belief in God, I did have the willingness to seek and do His will. And that was enough. At 9 years sober, the pandemic hit, and my dream came true of becoming a stay-at-home mom. My husband told me, we'll work it out. I would really love it if we did this, and I couldn't wait. And I was in my house, and I went crazy in Alcoholics Anonymous, in the middle of Alcoholics Anonymous. I was in the middle of a step series. We had just finished setting up for our home group at the time, Zoom meetings. I was sponsoring women. I wasn't picking up the phone because I was in so much fear, but I was sponsoring women on paper. I was doing inventories, very little. I was telling myself that I was doing okay because I was getting on my knees and praying 3 times a day, 3, 7, and 11, 3, 7, 8, 11. And, and I was doing all these things, and I was going absolutely crazy. And for me, absolutely crazy looks like, so I'm not picking up a drink, but I'm full of rage. And I'm full of anger. And I don't know why these things are happening, and I have a little 2-year-old at the time at my house, and I'm screaming at him all day. I had become a tyrant. He wasn't doing absolutely nothing, and I was just screaming because I was full of obsessive thoughts and full of fear, and that's the only way. It says that I'm restless, irritable, and discontent, and unless I can again experience ease and comfort, which comes from a drink. But when I'm not drinking, what am I getting my ease and comfort from? And it could be gossiping, it could be shopping, it could be many, many things. But for me, it was anger and rage. And then at night, it was impossible to go to sleep because I had so much shame and so much guilt because of the way that I was acting throughout the day, that I did not want to go to sleep because I knew I was going to be thinking about it the whole entire night. And then finally, when I would go to sleep, I would wake up in the morning and I would tell myself, I cannot believe it again because I'm going to do it again. I'm going to feel all these things again, I'm going to do all these things again. It was terrible, terrible. And, but a seed was planted when I was 2 years sober. I have been hearing Russell since I was about 1.5, and Russell's very funny, but Russell has been, same story. Same story, all these years, and thank God it's the same story. Because when I heard it at 2 years sober, I didn't need the Bible study story. I heard the funny story about, I liked the daughter with the coffee story. I liked all those stories, the milk and the fighting with Diggy. Those were funny and those were really good. But the Bible story I didn't need, but the Bible story stuck. The Bible study story stuck. And it was in the back of my head. And God allowed me to remember that story at 9 years sober, and I knew exactly what I needed to do. I felt right then and then. Jesus told me to follow him, and that's when I started following him. He had been telling me to follow him for a very, very long time. I had been going into chapels when I was 15, 16, 17, in my 20s. When I was drinking and drugging, I would go into the chapels. I don't know why I was going into the chapels. I was pulled in there. I know today why. I know today that my life is a tribute to God. I'm not ashamed of anything that I've done. Nothing, not a single thing. I don't even say that I don't regret it, and I wouldn't even tell you that I wouldn't do it all over again. I would do everything that I did for God all over again. Because for his glory, I am here sober, and helping other women and helping other people and being able to be the person that Christ Jesus wants me to be in my home and in my occupation and in all my affairs. And I gotta tell you, it's not an easy. Sometimes I wonder, and it's okay. You know what I don't do? I don't beat myself up anymore. When I don't do something that I think, God wouldn't be happy with this, or God wouldn't, what? God is gonna be happy with me. God loves me no matter what, and I know that. I am convinced of that. I am convinced, that he does not want me beating myself up, whipping me on the back, telling myself, I'm so disappointed in you. He does not want me living like that. He wants me he wants these things to be revealed to me and for me to see it, okay? And then to glorify him, and tell people that he got me out of that. And I know that, and I'm convinced of that today. So I do things to get closer to God every single day. Every single day I talk to God. This is the group that I hang out with. I do not deviate outside this group. A lot of things needed to be cast to one side, including my sponsor at the time, including the friends that I was hanging out with, including the home group that I was attending. Everything had to go. Everything had to go, and I didn't have a problem with saying no to people and leaving. Because I knew that my life needed to be behind Jesus, and I knew that I needed to hang around with these people, and I knew that I needed to be immersed. And today that's exactly what my life looks like, I'm still a stay-at-home mom. My son attends a Catholic school. The Catholic school has a Catholic church in the grounds, and I get to do Mass every single morning. Thank you, Jesus. And you know what? Do I want to do Mass every single morning? No, honestly. I really don't want to do Mass every single morning. But I do Mass every single morning because the woman that walks into Mass is different than the woman that walks out of Mass. And the woman that walks out of Mass is the woman that my husband needs to see, the woman that AA needs to see, the woman that my friends need to see, the woman that my son needs to see. And that's why I do that. Everything I do today is to glorify God. Everything that I do is for God. Everything that I read is for God. Every sermon that I hear is for God and not for me. My life is not mine anymore. I used to read the Bible because I thought that it was a self-help book. And that's okay, because that's how I got started. And I used to listen to sermon because I thought that I was going to get something out of it. I don't give a crap about that anymore. I listen to things because I know that I'm going to get a phone call that day and somebody's going to tell me a problem, and I'm going to tell them, let me tell you what I just heard. Let me tell you what I just read. Let me tell you what this devotional just said. It's going to be, I know that the blessing is for others. God's got me covered. He has comforted me. Now it's my turn to comfort others, and I'm so grateful for that. I can't believe it. I'm so grateful for that, so I know. Okay, Jen, 5 minutes. I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me come out.